Welcome to Wednesday's episode of Student of the Gun Radio. Thank you very much for joining us. Got some good news today. Good news. They figured out how to stop the spread of the virus. The virus. That's right. That's where we're at now. It's just the virus. And when you say the virus, everyone knows what you mean. You mean like HIV? Nope, wrong virus. We don't care about that one anymore. We don't care about any of them anymore, except for one. People in America only die of one thing. That's it. No one's dying of heart disease. No one's dying of cancer. No one's dying of anything but the Rona. But we have good news. We have a Brownell's bullet points for you freaks and freakettes. And, of course, we got a homeroom. We're going to give you some summertime concealed carry tips. I'm sure we might give you more than the tip, but we're definitely going to give you the tip. All that and more after Zach plays that funky music. Caucasian folk.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
I tell you what, it's a banner freaking day up here in Wyoming. I've worn short pants for 2 days in a row.
Short pants? Like
Shorts.
jorts?
No, short pants.
Aw, no jorts.
Short pants is the official version of shorts. It was funny when we lived in Biloxi. It was shorts weather for 7-8 months
Every day.
or 9 or 12 months depending on who you were. But I would go months without putting on long pants. Like literally months and months without putting on long pants. Here, if 2-3 days in a row. But last week I wore shorts 3 days in a row, and then the mercury dropped and it got back down to the 40s. So I was like, oh crap.
I would love to not wear pants ever.
40. Well, it was 40s at night. It was 60s in the daytime. I looked at the weather forecast for Salt Lake, and you guys are going to be warm. It's it's low 90s
It was
for a week.
Before this morning when I was on my way here to the
Yeah.
studio.
Yeah. We're not. I'm not Dick Goddard, and I'm not doing the weather report. Or who's that guy that had the gut surgery? Al Roker. I'm not Al Roker. I'm not doing the weather report for you guys. Full30.com. Have you checked it out lately? If you haven't, you should. There's a direct link in the show notes so that you can go to Full30.com, Student of the Gun channel, and subscribe. Full30 is the alternative to YouTube. It's a friendly place for Second Amendment supporters to go.
It's mainly a place for 1A supporters. Mostly right now there's guns and outdoor people, but it's a place for everybody that supports freedom of speech. So if that's you and you want if you want a channel, it's actually open to everybody right now. You just have to create an account, request a channel, and then let them know, help@full30.com, and they will accept you.
There you go.
If you produce material, if you produce videos, and you're currently uploading to YouTube or Facebook or wherever, add Full30 to your stack.
To your stack. All right. I say, don't forget our good friend Nicholas.
Did you move the video up there for a reason? Because we haven't played it yet.
Yeah, we did.
No, did we play the opening video?
Yeah, we played the opening video already.
Holy crap.
We already did there, Jared. The
Wow.
opening video already played.
Yeah. And you say, I don't pay attention.
Don't forget about the Operator Book 2 Sin City, available now on Amazon as a paperback or a Kindle version. If you are a fan of fiction, if you're a fiction fan, if you're looking for some mind candy to if you're looking for something to take your mind off of, well, the world, just for a little while, we highly recommend it. So check that out. All right, we got a Brownell's bullet points for you. And we're going to listen to the Brownell's intro music very soon in the near future. Looks like you're on a mountain. shooting from the top of a mountain, a snow-covered mountain. Where can I do that? I can do that here in free America. I went to brownells.com, and I told you guys that I like to keep you abreast of what is going on, and I often use the Brownells website as kind of the barometer about what's going on in the world, you know, the shooting sports world, whether things are out of stock. Like, for instance, was it about a month or two ago when we're talking about shotguns? And I was shocked to find that all the shotguns were sold out. Yep. I mean, from $200 shotguns to $2,000 shotguns, they were all gone, which was kind of surprising to me because usually shotguns are pretty stable. But I went to the sale and clearance sectione on brownells.com, and I was pleasantly surprised to find that there was magazines galore, and not reduced capacity slave magazines, but actual Free America magazines, including bonus Liberty Point magazines. Magpul's got that D60 drum, and it's on sale right now for $109. That's a lot of Liberty for not that much money. And yes, they work. They work. They've got 10 packs. So I guess the folks at Magpul have been working overtime to make sure that all you freaks have magazines, which is a good thing. The P-Mags are the standard. I know it hurts some old guys, some old timers. I'll never rely on a plastic magazine. Never will I ever rely on a plastic magazine. Okay. You don't have to rely on a plastic magazine, but the United States Marine Corps does. What? The Marine Corps is issuing plastic magazines for their rifles? Well, you know why, Jared. Do you know why that is?
So many things I could say. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Why is that?
Well, it's because Marine infantrymen are very gentle with their gear.
Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah.
They don't abuse their gear. They're very cautious and gentle with it. So you can give them plastic magazines. You wouldn't want to give them to anybody else, but because Marines are so gentle with their gear, then they don't have to worry about them breaking. If anyone is going to break a piece of gear, it's going to be a Marine Corps infantryman. That is what's going to happen. So when the Marines are like, yeah, these are tough enough for 18-year-olds, for 18-year-old jarheads, like, they must be pretty tough. Yeah, they must be. Something else that they have in stock right now on Brownells is they have the D50, the 50-round 308 drum magazines from Magpul. We mentioned that previously. I did some socialist media posting on it, but those are available right now. And they've got a lot of other stuff too, but I thought that was interesting because, hey, where are Magpul products manufactured on planet Earth, Zach? Or Jared?
India. I don't know.
No, Jared, tell your knucklehead brother where Magpul mags are manufactured.
In good old Wyoming.
That's right, in Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Good old Wyoming.
There you go. Perfect place.
You know why they chose to move to Wyoming, right?
Yeah.
Because of the wind.
Yeah, I was just about to say because the wind picks everything up and it makes shipping a lot easier. They just throw the stuff in the air and Wyoming's like, phew, sends it where it needs to go.
There it goes. Yeah. So, yep. Proudly made and manufactured in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And we also know, don't forget, that Stag Arms has moved to Cheyenne, Wyoming, and they are actually right next door. I don't know if you'd call it next door or across the street from Magpul. So good stuff. Good stuff. We like to see freedom-loving companies moving into Wyoming, into free America. Get away from those. If the state doesn't like you, then don't like them back and leave. Oh, you don't like us? Good. We don't like you either. We're going to take our jobs and our money, and we're going to go somewhere else. And you can suck it. All right, so that is your what's going on at Brownells right now. Sign up for their newsletter so that you never miss a beat. Yes, indeed. They'll let you know what's on sale, what's special, what's in stock, all that good stuff. Duracoat, why? Why should I Duracoat anything?
Because Duracoat is a family-owned business. They're awesome people, and life is too short to have an ugly gun or an ugly anything. Like this thing right here, I need to do some Duracoat on this.
Absolutely. You are absolutely correct.
We need to take another trip to the Duracoat, the actual headquarters, because it's so much easier to do the stuff with their equipment because they've kind of got it figured out.
It's like, hey, we're just going to come into your shop and you're going to let us do our projects with your equipment. How's that sound?
Yeah, I'll be there for like 4 weeks. I'm going to have people that are Student of the Gun listeners send me some stuff to do for them, and then we'll be good.
Truck full of stuff. There you go. Duracoat,
bring my
good
car
people,
and get it done.
good products, good stuff. Go to DuracoatFirearmFinishes.com. SWAT Fuel wants you to have a stronger body, sharper mind every day, right now. Quit making excuses. I stopped making excuses. So, hey, are you hip to the Barbell Logic online podcast change up? J-Rod?
No. Oh, yes. I think. Tell me what you're talking about.
With the change in co-hosts?
Yeah.
Nikki Sims is stepping in
Yep.
and assuming a greater role as a co-host on Barbell Logic.
That's
podcast.
all right. People want to listen and look at Nikki more than they want to listen and look at Scott anyway. So.
Yeah. No, she's fit.
She's got a lot of good information in that brain too. I've spoken with her.
We're talking about this newest episode about hypertrophy.
Hypertrophy. Is that like an ultra trophy? Like
That's
win?
like the more trophy than you possibly could need.
Oh yes.
Hypertrophy. They're talking about. They had a whole episode about hypertrophy. Listen up. If you haven't been listening to Barbell Logic Online, their podcast, do it. If you want to get strong, they want you to get strong. SWAT Fuel wants you to get strong. So stop making excuses and get strong. You want to talk about the August class? Is that what you want to do, Jared?
Yeah. I was actually thinking about the precision rifle training class and all the stuff that's going on in the world right now, and I'm like thinking if you want to, I just caught a glimpse of the video down here, and there's auto captions being sent through the player, and it distracted the crap out of me. But anyway, if you want to join us in beautiful Wyoming, and it's going to be a perfect time of year, August 7th through the 9th, then go to SOTGU.com, join us for some R&R, spend some time with like-minded individuals, and utilize the freedom that we have left.
Yeah, that's right. It's a good place to be. And it's a good time to get your butt some training. So we hope to see most of you, or many of you, or a lot of you there. Jared, you know how I spring things on you in the middle of our live broadcast? Do you know how that happens?
Hold on, let me mute this real quick so I can't hear.
No. Oh, I was actually thinking that we should do...
Oh, no. I'm glad Zach's here with me.
A Patriot Fire Team leadership seminar.
Yeah, I think that would actually be a really good idea. I actually had a meeting yesterday with somebody here locally, and that's a really good space for that.
Where you are?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about where I am.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we'll be needing to go bang and stuff like that.
Oh, like actual activities involved. Yeah, we'll have to.
Yeah.
We'll have to discuss the details. Because when you said leadership seminar, I'm thinking Paul Markle and company on stage teaching about leadership.
Talking, but there'll be a lot of physicality involved in it too, as well.
That's a good idea.
So.
Here's the deal. If you're listening and you're interested in a Patriot Fire Team leadership seminar, go to studentofthegun.com, sign up for the 7 training tips, and I will send an email out about this, and we'll generate a list of interested people so that we can actually communicate with you about the updates on that event. That's actually a really good idea.
I would like to I would really like to do that before the election, because I am afraid of what's going to happen in this country in November.
July. Why do you have to be? Why are you like this?
What? No, because
why are you like this?
I didn't cause the Rona panic. All right. All right. So.
All right. All right.
It's got to be done, man. It's got to be done. All right. Let's go ahead and well, if you're a new listener, a recent listener, or maybe you've been here for a long, long time. Either way, Zach's got something for you.
ShopSOTG.com is the perfect place to go if you are a student of the gun. Whether you want to expand your brain, increase your marksmanship, or help keep your family safe. All that, plus the Pimp Hand brands that you love. ShopSOTG.com has almost anything that an American patriot would want. Education, enlightenment, and entertainment, and we're open 24/7. Check out ShopSOTG.com today and see for yourself.
Yes.
Zach made that all by himself, by the way.
He did. He did all by himself. He did a good job.
He wrote the copy. He spoke the voice. He did everything.
He did. If you guys haven't been there in a while, you really should go. Seriously, because Zach put a bunch of new products up. So check those out. All right, we've got a Student of the Gun homeroom. This is brought to you by our good friends at crossbreedholsters.com. Yes, that was Madison Rising Dangerous. How did you guys, grad program members, how did you like that Friday show with the double dose of Madison Rising, a double Patriot dose of Madison Rising? Yeah, if you didn't leave that show with a lump in your throat, you have no soul. Sorry. You don't have a soul. All right, what are we going to talk about right now? It is summertime. Summertime.
Is it living easy?
And depending on where you live, the heat and the humidity will vary. I know if you live where we used to live, in Biloxi, Mississippi, it's jungle hot. And it's jungle wet. And it's all the time. Even if you don't, something that you may not think about often is how much lint, dirt, and crap gets inside of your gun. And you say, oh, no, Paul. I went to the range a couple months ago, and I cleaned it, and I put it in my holster, and I carry it all the time, and it's perfectly clean. Oh, really? Hey, Zach, what happens to guns that are perfectly clean and never fired and just carried every day?
They get very, very, very linty.
It is amazing. I took my wife's gun a while back, and it's like, let me clean your gun. I disassembled it. I was like, oh, what? Anybody ever go to someone's house, or you go to a rental place or whatever, or maybe you've done this and been guilty of it. You're like, hey, the dryer's not working well. Did you check the lint trap? And you pull it out and you're like, what? What? That's kind of the reaction I had when I disassembled my wife's pistol. I was like, what? Okay. Yeah. Carrying guns on your body makes them dirty. They're like, no, they don't. No, they don't. Yeah, they do. And I hate to break your heart, but the smaller and more compact the guns are, the more finicky they become, and the less tolerant they are of lint, dirt, crap, whatever. I actually experienced a pocket 380 that was not firing. Like the trigger would pull, and then it would go once, and it wouldn't reset. And it was disassembled, and months, if not more than months, of pocket lint and funk and what have you were cleaned out of it. And you know what? It worked after that. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what. If you have not disassembled your carry gun lately, and when I say lately, I mean weeks, months or so, you're like, oh, it's no big deal. I haven't shot it a lot. It's not dirty. I'm like, you're missing the point. You want that thing to work, right? Like you really, and you want it to, How many of you guys are carrying a single shot, 1-round gun? You're like, well, that'd be stupid.
Like a flintlock, I almost said revolver, a flintlock?
A flintlock revolver?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Cap-lock revolvers, but...
Cap-lock, yeah.
Well, you say, no, I'm not. Of course, that would be stupid. Yeah, but the thing is, if you're carrying a funked up, nasty, garbaged up gun, you might be carrying a one-shot gun. It'll go bang once, then it won't cycle, and then you will have a heavy or light club in your hand. So check that out. Also, I don't know about you guys. Fortunately, where I live now, it's dry. Thank the Lord it is dry. Where we used to live, and you're like, I don't live in Mississippi, man, because that's crazy talk. I don't live in Louisiana. That's crazy talk. You don't live in Florida. Yeah, but if you live in Missouri, Jared, how many times have we been to Missouri and it's been hot and humid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very hot and humid.
Yeah, there are a lot of places.
In fact, we were there either at the end of June or the beginning of July a couple years ago, and it was
hot and humid. So a lot of places are hot and humid, and your guns will rust.
I'm sorry, I just had a flashback to when you hit puberty.
Oh, yeah?
All right. Good times.
Good times. So, but here's the trick with don't put so much lube on it that it's dripping off. like if it's beading, if you can look at the gun and you can see drops of lube on the outside of the gun, that's probably too much. Get yourself a cotton t-shirt and wipe it down. But you do want to make sure that your gun is properly lubricated. And where do we lubricate guns? Anywhere two places. Anywhere where metal is sliding against metal.
I was going to say at our kitchen table with
our kitchen table.
Newspaper.
Where do we lubricate guns? I lubricate in my shop at my workbench. Duh. Of course, that's where I lube my guns. No, anywhere where metal is sliding against metal or rubbing against metal needs to have some lubrication on it. And anything that is subject to rust should have a light coat of lube. A light coat. And if you run your finger over it and it comes up and your finger's greasy, that's probably too much. But even if you're carrying a Glock, you're like, Glocks don't rust and they never rust and shut your mouth. Even Glocks still need lube. Okay? Take that thing apart, put lube on the rails, rack it, and you'll be a happy camper. And
you know what the great news is, Dad?
What's that?
You know what the great news is?
What's the great news?
This is in podcast format, so while we're talking about this right now, you can bust out your gun and clean it, especially if you're in your office cubicle. Just don't do a desk pop.
Yeah, no desk pops. You can just put your earbuds in or put it on a Bluetooth speaker or whatever, and you can sit right at your, Student of the Gun is a good thing to listen to in your workshop or your workspace. Just put it on the speaker and do your work while you're listening to me talk. And you'll be a happy camper.
And what is the best thing to have in your workspace, you ask? Does anyone know the answer to this?
Yes, I know actually two answers, Zach. We've got a student gun cleaning mat. If you go to shop.SOTG.com, it's there for you. It's actually really high quality. And then I don't know if you're still doing this or not, but previously when we had launched the gun cleaning mat, you got a free bottle of lube. No. However, if there's no longer a free bottle of lube with it, a little bottle of lube. I brought a little lube. If there is no longer a free one, you can also add that to your cart as well.
Yeah, you can still add it.
Yeah.
Totally. All right. Hey, Zach, help me out. Which part of the store which category contains the gun cleaning mats?
It is the firearms cleaning accessories section.
Accessories? All right.
Firearms cleaning and accessories. That is the words that I used, yes.
Okay. All right. But here's the problem right now, Zach. We're gonna fix this live. I went to the store. I clicked accessories. I'm there. I don't see the mat. And if I have to go somewhere else as a consumer, that is difficult for me, and it screws me up. So
it should also be in the featured products.
Okay.
It's number 2
Put
in
it
the
on
featured
the homepage.
Products.
Solved.
Yeah. There you go. Put it on the homepage.
Cool.
So that everyone can find it. We want everyone to find the super cool gun cleaning mats.
I'll do it right now.
There you go.
30 seconds.
All right. So that is your instructions. That's what I want you guys to do. You can do whatever you want, but the fact of the matter is, the one other thing that I will talk about, and it's a crossbreed holsters thing. If you're going to carry a gun in a hot climate, you're like, I know what you're talking about, Paul. I'm in Missouri. I'm in wherever, and it's friggin' hot. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, or I'm in wherever. When you order your crossbreed holster, bust out your wallet, get a crowbar, crank that sucker open, and spend the extra money on the horsehide. You will not regret it. All right? It's better leather. It's more resilient, and it's also a better sweat retention, at least in my experience. Okay, and I can speak intelligently to this because I don't think there's much more. I mean, maybe Manila, the Philippines, is more humid than Biloxi, but there ain't too many places that are more hot and more humid than Biloxi, Mississippi. All right, so it's Africa hot. Tarzan would be like, this is hot. A little bit of Biloxi blues for you guys there. And I never regretted ordering the horsehide. And the great thing about the horsehide backing is after you wear that holster for a while, it's going to conform not just to the gun, but it's going to conform to your body so that every single time you put it back on, it's going to go right into place. And that is a big deal. That is a BFD. So when you go to Crossbreed, use the promo. Here's the deal, Jared.
What?
You know, we always giving them stuff. It's like if you use the promo code SOTG18, it's like getting the horsehide upgrade for free.
Whoa.
And people are like, I never thought about that. Yeah. So if you use the promo code when you go to Crossbreed Holsters, SOTG18, essentially you can upgrade your holster to horsehide and get the upgrade for free because you use the promo code. And this is when I say, you're welcome, freaks. You're welcome.
That is pretty
right,
awesome.
We've got some good news.
We have actually two good news. Let me deliver the first good news. The first good news is that if you're listening live and you went to shopsotg.com and there was no gunmet on the homepage, there is now. So you can go to shopsotg.com and it's right below. There's top collections, then there's the slideshow, and then there's the product right there for you.
All right, that's good because we want you guys to have good stuff. And what's the other good news? The other good news is the story of the day.
Yep.
Jared, will you open that? It's from Forbes.com.
Yes. The good news is research determines that protests did not cause a spike in coronavirus cases.
All right. This is Dateline July 1st.
Yep, July 1st. Protests against systemic racism held in 300-plus cities following the death of George Floyd did not cause a significant increase in coronavirus infections, according to a team of economists who have published their findings in a 60-page paper released. The link is there to the paper, and it was released by the National Bureau of Economic Research. These somewhat surprising results are supported by COVID-19 testing data in many populous cities where demonstrations were held.
Can we put a pin in that? I want people to rehear what you said. So we have a virus, right? Which
we have to close down businesses for because it's dangerous and it's easily spread.
So the study was conducted by a team of medical professionals and doctors, right? Because it's a medical issue.
It says the National Bureau of Economic Research.
A team of economists. So number crunchers. So, well, there you go. All right. So, all right. Well, we're just going to move on. We're like, cool, rock on. Forbes wouldn't lie. Key facts. Let's talk about some key facts.
There's a scary thing in here. So not this one, but coming up soon. In the immediate aftermath of Floyd's death, health officials expressed great concern that protesters potentially yelling and shouting in very close proximity would quickly spread the virus, which might lead to devastating outbreaks. Okay. However, researchers found no evidence that urban protests reignited COVID-19 growing during the more than 3 weeks following the protests' onset. Okay. This one is kind of scary. In fact, they determined, based upon cell phone data, cities which had protests saw an increase in social distancing behavior for the overall population relative to cities that did not, leading to, quote, most evidence of small, longer-running case growth decline, end quote. So they're looking at cell phone data to see how far away from other people are. It's interesting.
All right.
The study's lead author, Deval Dave of Bentley University, said in many cities, this protests actually seemed to lead to a net increase in social distancing as more people did not protest, decided to stay off the streets. The study used newly collected data from 315 of the largest U.S. cities and documents that protests took place in 281 of those cities. The authors pre-released the paper last week, and it has not yet been peer-reviewed.
Okay, so this is from July 1st. Now, my question, Jared, let's go back to the cell phone data. So this is a team of economists here, right? A team of economists created this story, this research paper or whatever. How did they get access to the cell phone data?
Good question. Don't know. I have no understanding of how that works.
So, I'm assuming that a team of economists they're private individuals, right? They're not government individuals. They're private people. So we're private people. Can we access the cell phone data for New York City or Salt Lake City? Could I do that?
Maybe.
Can I have all that information?
I actually have no idea.
Oh, interesting. So let's go on. And it's key background. Let's go ahead and go back to the story. It says key background. The study's conclusions. That's what we're looking for, is conclusions here. You want to read that or you want me to?
Oh, yep. For some reason it wouldn't load for me. All right. Oh, come on. You go ahead and read it. It says
the study's conclusions are supported by COVID-19 testing data in many cities that were home to prevalent protesting. For instance, the Minneapolis Department of Health reported that more than 15,000 people were tested at centers set up in communities affected by the protest, and 1.7% tests came back positive, below the statewide average of 3.6%. According to the Washington Post, protest attendees in Minneapolis returned positive rates of less than 1%, and that officials believe the low infection rate reflects that the protests were outside and most wore masks. We know that that's crap. And that people spent most of their time in motion, circulating through the crowd. What in the world? NPR reported last week that parties, not protests, are believed to be the cause of spike in Washington. That's right. All right. So we're finding these social events and gatherings, these parties where people aren't wearing masks, are primarily the source of the infection, said Erica Lautenbach of the blah, 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 blah. All right. So there we go.
This data actually supports something that I read earlier, and I didn't confirm the source, but I was reading some studies earlier, and one of them said something like the virus, it takes prolonged exposure to somebody that has symptoms, and prolonged exposure being 10 to 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And so this actually supports that data, which means that going to grocery stores and going to dine-in restaurants and whatnot doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So
if this is true, then, or first of all, if it's true, then why don't we go ahead and just open up the country and let people move about? Mm-hmm. Like when you go about your daily business, like let's say you get up in the morning and you have to go to work, and then you have to go to the store and you have to pick up this and you have to go that and you have to do that stuff. Like, how often do you just like stand there for 30 minutes around other people? Probably not often, right? I mean, think about it. You're like, hey man, what's up? I got to get this, got to get that, boom, and you just go about your life, right? Why don't we just do that? Well, Jared, does anyone really believe that somehow the act of protesting or being involved in a protest, did you see any of the video from these things?
Some of them, yeah.
People shoulder to shoulder, screaming, throwing, breaking. They're like, oh, but they were all wearing masks and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you know who was all wearing masks? People who were looting the stores. Isn't that convenient? Not everyone was wearing a mask, but Jared, didn't we on Monday? See, this is one of those things where they're like, "Roof, we're going to say it, but we're not going to believe it." What did we talk about on Monday? You found a research study from 2019 before the Rona panic.
Nope, it was actually from 2015.
2015. Okay, 2015. So before they decided to force us into the Rona panic, what did it say? That standard cloth masks allowed 97% of the microns or whatever.
The bacteria penetrated 97% of the cloth masks, or the cloth masks allowed 97% of the bacteria through.
Right.
And the study that we quoted was done on healthcare workers.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't done on general population, whatever. So
right.
The healthcare workers are exposed to far more viruses and bacteria and whatnot. And so that's pretty good data here.
Yeah.
I haven't seen an updated study on this stuff from a reliable source yet. So if you guys have one, then send it to info@studentofthegun.com and it'll get to us.
So this Forbes study says, well, yeah, all these people, I mean, I know they weren't actually social distancing and they weren't apart from each other, but they were moving and they were outside and they were wearing masks. You know, a lot of people wanted to move and be outside in the United States, and they were arrested by thugs in uniform for moving around outside in parks and moving around outside on beaches. That didn't seem to be an issue. Well, you can't. Well, those people weren't protesting. They were playing with their kids. If they would have been protesting in the park, then they would be okay. But they were just playing with their kids and walking on the beach and stuff. Remember the video of the lady being arrested, walking on the beach by herself, being arrested? They're like, oh, that never happened, Paul. Yeah, actually it did. Can we figure out what we're actually doing here? You know, and when I said this was good news, I was being tongue-in-cheek. Because the fact of the matter is, what they're doing is they're giving these thugs an excuse. They're giving these people, all right, they're not all thugs. Shut up. Shut up. Okay, those stores in Minneapolis didn't burn themselves down. Okay, the windows in those cars in Detroit, Philadelphia, Chicago, those windows didn't smash themselves out. All right? And I'm sorry, but I'm not buying this. It's okay to protest, but it's not okay to go to a park. I'm not buying this. It's okay to protest, but it's not okay to. I mean, that freaking dunderhead in New York actually went public and said, when he was questioned about it, DeBozo, going to church and protesting are not the same thing.
No, you see, because if they said you weren't allowed to protest, that'd be infringing on your rights, and that's not okay, right?
They did, though. See, DeBozo, this is what you forget.
I know.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding people. Before the George Floyd furor, You weren't allowed to protest in New York. You see, you weren't allowed to protest against the government house arrest order. You weren't allowed to protest against the businesses being shut down.
Because it was going to it was going to expedite the transfer of the virus.
That's right. And his emergency executive orders forbid people from protesting against the government. You know, that thing that the First Amendment actually guarantees? But when it's social justice and it's Democrat voters, then it's okay. So here's what all you guys need to know. If you want to go outside and you want to do whatever you want to do, okay, number one, you need to first register to vote Democrat. You need to be a registered Democrat. So if you're a registered Democrat, you can do anything you want. All right. Number two, if you call what you're doing a protest, then you can do whatever you want. Well, what did we see in, was it St. Louis, Missouri? A bunch of, quote, protesters broke into the property. That they broke through a gate, and a gate is closed to keep your dumb butt out, okay? And entered the private property of a couple, a family, in St. Louis. So they were actually a criminal mob. You see, when you bust through a closed gate and you go onto private property, you're not a protester. You're a criminal mob. All right? But the media, they're like, oh, these mean people pointed guns at the protesters. No, they're a criminal mob. But what did we learn from that? So anything you want to do, as long as you call it a protest and you're a registered Democrat, you can do it. You want to rob a bank tomorrow? Call yourself, registered Democrat. Call yourself a protester. I think I might let's all go to Denver and protest in the banks. Can we do that? Is that okay? Ask CNN. Can we protest in the banks and as part of reparations take all the money out of it? Are we allowed to do that? Oh, no, you're not allowed to do that. You can't do that. Well, how's that different? Oh, we're going to go into Target and Walmart and just keep naming stores, and we're going to take all of that private property that they own, and we're going to take it for ourselves. But we're protesters, so the cops ain't going to stop us. The cops will just hang back because the Democrat mayor told them to hang back and not to mess with us. Ladies and gentlemen, stop buying into the lies. Stop accepting the bull crap. What I just saw a story. Chicago is going to force people. I love this. Who wants to go to Chicago on purpose? Like, Chicago mayor just said that anyone coming in from out of state from an area where there's going to be quarantined. Why are you going to Chicago on purpose? Don't go. Is the Chicago airport open?
Yes.
Why? If the Rona is so dangerous and we're so afraid that people are going to spread it throughout the country, why is the airport still open? Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to believe it, the good news is protesting stops the spread of the virus. So the next time you want to do something, just make up a cardboard sign. Let's say you want to go play with your kids in the park. Before you go to the park, if you're in one of these areas that says you're not allowed to go to the park and you can't go to the beach, just make up a big cardboard sign and write, abbreviate the Bureau of Land Management, right? Put Bureau of Land Management on your sign and go play in the park. And if somebody shows up, say, leave me alone. I've got my Bureau of Land Management sign here. And they'll be like, oh, they must be a registered Democrat. We can't mess with them. If they were like Christians going to church, we could mess with them all, put them on trains. But if they're supporting the Bureau of Land Management, then you got to leave them alone. Must be Democrats. That's the workaround. So next time you guys want to go out and do something, if you're in one of these restrictive states, just get a cardboard sign, put Bureau of Land Management on it and go do what you want. And what do we know? They have to let you. They can't stop you. You're welcome. You see, we have a problem. I give you solutions. That's what we're all about here. Problems and solutions. Problems and solutions. That's right. But seriously, if you'd like to attend a Patriot Fire Team leadership training, let us know. I'm sure I would assume that when we open it, we'll have a limited number of seats and they'll probably sell out fast. So there you go. All right, cats and kittens and children and all that. If you'd like to be here tomorrow for all the goodness that is the Student of the Gun grad program, and you really do, Jared, where can they go to get in on this good stuff?
Go to getsotg.com. There's a bunch of information on that page there. It's got the FAQ section is there. If you still have questions after you look over the page, just shoot an email to info@studentofthegun.com and it'll get answered as quick, in fast order. It'll get answered.
Yes. And also, all of you guys out there, Zach does a really diligent job. Every week he puts out this thing called the Liberty Letter. It's an update. It's like, hey, what's going on with Student of the Gun? What do we do this week? All that stuff. Give it a look. Open it up. He sends it to you. He takes a lot of time to do it. So thank him for that. And just open it, read it, share it. There you go. All right, we will be back tomorrow with a grad program episode. Until then, remember, you're a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.